you know, try turning it. Ready. Hi guys. Are we live?
Yeah,
Okay. Can we do a sound check? Is there anybody in the room yet?
not yet.
Uh-huh. Mic is on, camera's on. All right. So I imagine people will jump in once they see I'm live. I didn't send out any reminders, so sorry about that. It has been a busy and very stressful week. If you see my community post, then you know what is going on. But one of my garden sidekicks is ill, and we have her on some medication. And as of right now, she is doing okay. But the reality is what happens when the medication is done, right? So I wanted to go ahead and keep this because I had the live scheduled for a few weeks before all of this started transpiring. So I wanted to give you guys a real time update. Usually, when I record my videos, I'm recording the process and the journey. And in that, there are a lot of steps, and it's not always a very real time update. I do try to give like little sneak peeks here and there, and if you follow me on Instagram, then you'll get more real time updates. But if you're not following me and you prefer to have those kinds of updates, go ahead and give me a follow on Instagram as well. But we're gonna go ahead and start the tour because I don't want it to take too long. But I do want to show you guys what has been going on in the garden. It looks completely different than the last time you saw it. And I'm super excited about growing my first set of summer crops.
Healthy Gemini says good morning.
Hi, welcome, my fellow Gemini buddy. Her birthday is the day before mine, so Gemini twins stand up. Um, so we're starting in this corner. So these trees, if you guys remember, were on the edge of my patio. We have since moved them to the side of the house because my Meyer lemon tree looks like it has had a very, very hard life. So we've lost several leaves here. And to give the plant a fighting chance, I moved it out of the path of our coastal winds. We do have some fruits that are sizing up on it, which is pretty nice. I probably will not get as big a harvest as I wanted, but you live and you learn, right? On this side, we have our key lime tree, and this one is doing pretty well, surprisingly. So these leaves seem to be a little bit tougher in terms of being able to stand up to some of the winds we get here. We do have some budding fruits that are sizing up as well. So hoping to have some limes pretty soon. And then as we make our way to the patio, you guys remember I used to have a ton of plants here. I pretty much cleared all of this out. The things that are here, I actually just put out here this week. We have a guava tree that is just kind of like new to me. It just came outside about a day ago. So I'm trying to get it acclimated. I have a galangal plant, and these things will go into some pots in the next couple of weeks. I have some of my, I guess, summer kind of herb and plant starts. So this is lavender. I cold stratified all of these for probably about a month before I put them out. And then we have some echinacea, which I have a couple of seedlings emerging, and some chamomile, which I'm all too excited about because I love a good cup of chamomile tea. I have this little beauty right here, which is also a guava, but this is an Egyptian yellow guava. And this is not its permanent home, but one of the things when you get plants that are really small, they tell you not to put them into their like final containers right away because you want to give them time to size up in the containers that they're in. So these plants, including the ones that I just showed you, are going to go through a number of up pots before they reach their final home. Over here, we have our rosemary, which is still going strong. It actually looks really, really good now. I guess since it's gotten warmer, it's definitely put on some more green. But this was overwintered here in my climate, and we do get pretty mild winters. So, she's been surviving and thriving on her own. In this little whiskey barrel, I have some bare root strawberry plants that I just planted recently. Now, these don't look as great as some of the other ones that I'll show you guys in a little bit, but they are doing semi okay. And I don't know if this is my fault because I didn't put them out right away when I got them. But you can see we have a couple here that are pretty strong, some that look like they're trying to figure out life, and then some that have just kind of went on to a different place. We have a little marigold in here that we're waiting for to pop up. You guys have to excuse the patio. The patio is a mess, but we will get it together at some point. This is my Roselle hibiscus plant. So this is, again, kind of in its interim place until the root system grows a little bit more for it to be up potted. We have our dwarf Cavendish banana plant over here. So this little one has grown up quite a bit since I've gotten it. It was about this big when I got it, and now we have some big, beautiful leaves on it. And I checked the roots yesterday; they're doing pretty well. In this little pot, we have our dwarf pomegranate. I believe this is a wonderful, if I'm not mistaken. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But again, this one is starting to size up a little bit. Pomegranate, surprisingly, the trees don't really get the leaves and stuff, don't really get that big. Neither do the branches, it seems, from what I've seen. And they support that heavy fruit. So I thought that was like pretty interesting. Over here, I have a dead cilantro plant, and I just need to get rid of it, but it's been hanging out there, just kind of taking up space. We have some eggplant starts, and for somebody that really doesn't know if they like eggplant, these are all Nigro eggplant plants that I started because I had so much trouble starting seeds with eggplants. I just kind of went ahead and planted them, so now I have way more eggplant than I'm sure I could ever need. And these will be going into the bed soon. These are some California Wonder peppers that also need to get transplanted out. And then we have some of our green leader, which I had struggled several rounds sowing these seeds and getting them to germinate properly. So just a little hint about that particular variety. Now on this side, now I have no idea what this is. It says Pericalis. I don't know if that's the scientific name, or if this is something that is called something else. But I just thought this plant was really pretty. It has such beautiful, like, kind of like fuchsia. It's a cross between like fuchsia. I think it's fuchsia and magenta and white, but it kind of gives like a purple hue. But I just thought this was so pretty when I saw it, so I picked it up. Nice pollinator plants. Down here we have some red mums, which actually ended up coming back, and these are super cute. I probably should put them in a bigger pot, but that's where they've been living. Any comments? Anything?
The key lime looks good.
Thank you. We have some banana mint here. So this was kind of like a spontaneous buy. I don't know if you guys can see that. They had this at my local retail store, and I just decided, I was like, oh, that's interesting, banana mint. Let's go ahead and try that. Never heard of it. And I picked it up, and it's doing pretty well. On this side, I have some Greek oregano that I separated out from all the oregano that I planted. So there'll be several of these throughout the garden, but I just have this was like extra that I put into this container, and I'll let it grow here until I can figure out what else to do with it. I have a hyacinth that is not doing anything at the moment, just kind of hanging out, and some snow white alyssum. I have been loving this. Having like the small white flowers in the garden. It's really pretty. It definitely has been bringing in the wasps. So definitely going to keep that around. In this grow bag here, so this is a 20-gallon grow bag, y'all. And I have some peppers. These are pepperoncini peppers. I planted so many peppers that I just know I'm gonna be like have peppers up the wazoo. But these are 2 pepperoncini plants. I am pretty certain that that is a third one that hasn't really grown up quite just yet. But I love pepperoncinis and I'm really looking forward to having those. This little baby over here, this is my early girl. This is one of them. And you can see it's putting on blooms. We have a few little tomatoes coming to head underneath there. And then this is my Cherokee green. Now, this is the only plant that survived here out of the Cherokee green bunch. And I'm happy that it's looking like really alive and well because I really enjoy green tomatoes. This is the last one to set fruit. It hasn't put on any actual fruit or flowers yet, but I can see the little fruit buds coming up. And then, of course, we have some big leaf Italian basil in there. And this little pot here, this is a gray zucchini plant. It was an extra one, of course, new gardener problems. I did not want to get rid of the extra plant, but I also thought it would be beneficial to have it in case like one plant put off only male flowers, just to be able to have something to pollinate with. So this is a gray zucchini. This one was damaged by hail, so the plant is really trying to just kind of grow in new healthy leaves, and that's what's going on there. In this little bag, I have some nasturtiums. I have my Black Beauty zucchini, which the first seeds I planted took so long to come up. I went ahead and tilled it up and tried to plant new ones. And of course, one was like coming up at the time I did that. I ended up planting 3 new seeds, and of course, 2 of them have germinated. So now I have an extra plant that I'm like, where am I going to put it? I'll probably figure out something again just to make sure I have pollinators available when the fruits start popping up. This is a dwarf sunflower, as is this. So I'm really excited to see what these are going to be looking like when they come up. In this little bag, we have some spinach that is bolting and some mini romaine. This is absolutely one of my favorite lettuces that I grew this year. This one is bolting. We do have a couple that are still pretty okay. If I catch them, I'll probably go ahead and pull these out tomorrow just so that we can not lose all of our mini romaine. But it is really pretty to just kind of look at in the garden. And then I have a pepper plant here, and I don't know what it is, as well as this plant here. Don't know what it is, but these 2 things are coming up. So I guess I'll see once they start fruiting what they are. Over here, I have my Namdak Mai mango tree that is starting to put on like fresh leaves and growing out a little bit. So super excited about this. One of my favorite fruits definitely are mangoes, and when we have our mango tree going and it's producing fruit, I will be all too happy. In this little whiskey barrel, which is not in its permanent home yet, these are strawberries. I have 2 different types. This is the Hanoi, I believe that's how you say that. And I actually got these from M.I. Gardner. So I got all of my June bearing strawberry roots from them. Don't know why the other ones are not performing as well. I put these in the next day. They looked like this, and they are fruiting. They've been in about 2 weeks, and I'm super excited that I'm going to get some strawberries from these. In this particular plant here, these are my Alexandria strawberries, and I planted these from seed. And I got some of these seeds from Johnny Seeds as well as M.I. Gardner. These are my Johnny Seed ones. The rest of them are in here. They haven't sprouted yet. But I'm excited about all the strawberries I'm going to get this season. In this little pot here, we have some Italian oregano. This was something that I picked up as a start from the big box store too, because I wanted Italian oregano. And I put it here. It's definitely grown some. This is not its permanent home. I just haven't figured out where I want to put it. My hyacinth in this pot died, so, you know, long live the hyacinth. And then I have this dianthus here, which is pretty. It needs some deadheading. I have not been doing the best at deadheading it, so it's kind of like mixed in with all the dead leaves. But at some point, I will take the time to clean that up. This is my little blueberry patch over here. This is the tree that I made a few videos about, where I was telling you guys I was having some issues. It's finally coming to life. You can see like the leaves here. And then I think I thought it was a, wait, is this the Brightwell? This can't, I think this is wrong. Okay, I have this saying that this is the Brightwell, and this is supposed to be an early producer, so I don't know if I mixed up the tags, but this one is coming in. I thought this was the Centurion. The Centurion is actually supposed to be a late bloomer, but I guess this is the Centurion over here, if I didn't mix up tags. But this one is producing nicely. We have a lot of, can you see the buds? I had to protect the fruits from the birds because even though they aren't ripe, it seems like they were eating them off. Like you can see down here, we had some that are missing. And then I have this one that I picked up to kind of help pollinate the Brightwell. And this is a Tiff Blue, but I'm going to have to prune this and hope that it'll put on some new foliage and new fruits, because it was already fruiting when I got it from the store. In this little bed here, these are the strawberries that I planted, and these were the ones I got from Home Depot, and this is what they look like, y'all. These plants are not doing a thing, and I'm going to go ahead and take them out, and I would not advise buying bare root strawberries from your big box stores. This is a borage plant I put here. I read that it's good to interplant borage with strawberries, so that's what I did, and it is suffering from hail damage as well. In this little pot, I have a store start strawberry that's actually putting on fruit for me as well. I don't know the variety, but it is an ever-bearing variety. So happy that we'll have some strawberries producing throughout a few seasons here for us. And I just companion planted those with some marigolds. Over here, my 1, 2, 3 raspberry trees turned into 4. So this is my mammoth raspberry. This is a thorned raspberry variety. I did not know that. I don't remember reading that, but you guys can see all those little prickly thorns. So if you're growing a mammoth raspberry, don't make the mistake and put your finger on that. Back here, I have a purple raspberry. This is the Royalty Purple. I got that because of the color, so I hope that the fruits are really good. And this I planted, I want to say maybe about a week and a half ago, and we already have some nice foliage coming up on it. This is my Autumn Bliss raspberry. So this is a full fruiting raspberry. So it does have some buds on it, but of course it's not growing as quickly as some of the earlier varieties. And then over here with lots of fruit on it, we have the Ann raspberry, which is a golden raspberry variety. These are supposed to produce like really good, super sweet fruits. And I'm so excited that we have a ton of fruits here and the plant is still growing. This is our spearmint, and when I say this mint is growing out of control, I need to find a solution for harvesting quickly with this, but I've really been enjoying it. It's the first time I've grown mint successfully, so definitely a plus in my book. We have some peppermint over here, which is really starting to get its bearings, as well as some lemon balm. And I'm going to be cutting these down too, so we can trigger them to kind of bush out just a little bit. I have some herbs in here that have not yet germinated. I think the seeds at this point are not viable, so I'm going to go ahead and replant those. And then I have a couple in here with the same issue, but our fenugreek is doing really, really well. I've cut some of this off. I've used it to make a fresh chimichurri. And this is absolutely delicious. So if you're not growing fenugreek, definitely would suggest growing it. So we're gonna go ahead and move over to the grow bag section so I can show you guys what we have growing there. So starting right here, we have some, these are California bell peppers. I have 3 of those plants going around. We have some more Greek oregano. I have some Thai basil that's coming up. And then we have some Italian big leaf basil. And then this tree right here is a Marglobe tomato tree. So this one is, I can see the fruit budding. I don't see any fruits on it yet, but everything looks healthy in here. I did find a caterpillar in here yesterday, and I'm glad I caught it because, of course, nobody wants to have those problems very early on. But I had sprayed like the day before, so hopefully I'm getting out ahead of any caterpillar damage that has turned up. On this side, we have some poblano peppers, and you guys can see our first little poblano fruit here. I was so excited when I saw this, and I'm just like, I cannot wait for all the poblanos that are to come. If you didn't see my community post about my poblano bean combination, definitely check that out. And then I'm pretty sure all of these are poblanos. Why I have so many, don't ask me, but I'm going to make use of them. This is hail damage. And then, of course, we have interplanted some marigolds and nasturtiums. In this little baggie, I have celery that I pulled out of my bed earlier this year. So I went ahead and transplanted it over to this bag, separated it, filled it out, and I planted some nasturtiums with it, and they're doing pretty well growing back. So we'll always have celery on hand. In this little baggie, I have 2 Roma tomatoes and some Sedorna leeks. The Sedorna leek is a fall harvest variety, so it'll be a long time before those are actually done. But you guys can see we have plenty of fruiting on our Roma tomatoes. I remember talking about planting 2 of these in this bag and thinking it would be enough. I would suggest one plant per bag, even if it's 20 gallons, because especially if you're in a climate like mine, the humidity, it just kind of, this is what it leads to. It's basically a breeding ground for diseases. So one plant per bag. In this little baggie here, we have some Swiss chard that I had transplanted out. I haven't even gotten to eat any of this because the hail had damaged it so badly, and now it looks like it has some other type of pest that is attacking it terribly to the point that it's just extremely holy. I have a little pepper plant over here that's not doing really well. I don't even know what it is. I think it might be my pimentos. And then this is a Marglobe tomato as well. So this one actually has some flowers on it. We should be seeing some small tomatoes come up pretty soon. And then I have another pepper over here that this one is doing a little bit better than that other one. So hopefully we'll get some pimentos off of that. In this little bag here, I have, I believe, oh, this is my tasty green cucumber, which is nice. I've had some struggles with getting my cucumbers to germinate. I think I might have planted them too early. We have some dill here. So I have both mammoth dill and elephant dill growing in this bag. And I clipped the dill one time and that's what happened. So now the dill is going crazy. In this little bag over here, these are Cubanelle peppers. So we haven't gotten any fruits per se off of them, but you can see some flowering happening. All the plants look pretty good. I interplanted with the alyssum and some marigolds. And I will give y'all an update on this water bottle method. I think I came up with a much better solution for the water bottles that works, and can take the stress out of watering if you're watering in grow bags. In this little bag here, we have some rutabagas, which I don't know if you can get under there. They are growing up pretty nicely. And then I have some fennel. I'm hoping that the fennel will bulb the way it needs to. But the rutabagas are growing, and I can't wait to finally try those. We have our King Richard leeks here, which these have been doing really well. They're showing some signs of blight, but that's okay. The leeks are still sizing up all around the bag. I have one here that I'll be harvesting pretty soon and finding something to use it for. And then I have some borage over in this bag. I had planted a Roma tomato with this as well, but this Roma tomato, while it is fruiting, it is not doing well. So I know that they say you can interplant borage and tomatoes, and it's supposed to be a companion plant. In my opinion, I think borage takes up way too many nutrients, and I think it kind of steals the nutrients from the plant. So I'm pretty sure that's why my Roma is not doing well in that bag. In this little baggie over here, I have an early girl, which is already putting on fruits, and I'm loving that. I have two cherry tomato plants. I'm going to be kind of like rolling these up, letting them come up this trellis, this little cage, and then I'll figure out something to kind of arch them over once they get to that point. But those are both cherry tomatoes. On this side, this is an orange jubilee, which hasn't started actually fruiting yet. And then this is a San Marzano, which we have a few fruits on, and it's doing pretty well. In this little baggie over here, I have a couple of Brandywine yellow tomatoes. So you can see that there's a fruit on here already. This one started fruiting. And then I have some Chef's Choice pink, which I think we got some fruits on this as well. So I'm surprised that these plants are doing as well as they're doing. They're have some diseases on them. That's just the state of the climate I live in. But considering how they looked on the transfer out, because they have been sitting for so long, I'm really happy that they have grown up the way they have. On this side, I have some more Swiss chard that is kind of getting beat up a little bit, I guess, now by the tomatoes being overgrown, but I'll come in and pull those off so that they can shoot out some new fresh leaves. We have some Imperator carrots growing here, and these feel pretty nice. The leaves are, giving way to seemingly good growth. I checked in. We got some like little carrots. I probably need to thin them a little bit at this point because they've been in probably close to 2 months. But I'll come out and do that. But this is our last succession of carrots that we have growing. In this bed, so this was the last bed you guys see me build. We have several tomato plants. So these 3 plants up here are all Roma tomatoes. This little plant was the one that I told you guys when I planted it was like maybe this big, and I really didn't have any hope for it. That one actually ended up doing pretty well. It's a little bit behind the other ones, but it's it's growing up nicely. It's strong, and I see my little fruit buds starting to come in on it. I have some marigolds that I've interplanted in between. I also have some sweet basil up front, as well as some chives underneath that tomato plant in the corner. And then along this side, we had some mustard that is trying to flower now. This was supposed to be a trap crop, but I don't know if it'll be here at the time that we have to worry about like hornworms coming in. I also have some nasturtiums that I planted here. We have some radishes that are still in the bed that weren't ready the last time I did a harvest. And then over here, this is actually an orange clementine tomato. This is another cherry tomato. We have another San Marzano, which is bushing out pretty nicely. This Second one in here is, or third one rather, is a cherry tomato. And then that one in the corner is supposed to be a clementine cherry tomato. I think that might have been the orange jubilee tomato that I lost. We do have some Swiss chard in the back there as well, but that never really took off, and I don't know why. On the back side of this trellis, I have some snap peas that I tried to grow up against the tomatoes. This wasn't a good idea, but we're in it now, so I'm going to see what happens. I'll see how I can save them, but I wouldn't recommend doing that. In this bed, we have a couple of zucchini plants. So this is a patty pan zucchini, and this one, these really just kind of started growing wild, I would say in like the last 5 days or so. But I'm looking forward to that. I'm starting to see like little fruits on them already. And this is a gray zucchini. This is actually a vining zucchini, and I didn't know that. So this one will vine up this little trellis here. But if you weren't aware, I guess they have vining zucchini and non-vining, so make sure you know which type you get so that you know if you need to get something to support it. In this corner, we have some eggplants. Now, I'm pretty certain that these are both white eggplant plants. I am not 100% sure because the tags got mixed up when I was transplanting. We have some shallots in between, and then we have some sunflowers as well planted in between to bring in some pollinators and hopefully keep some of these pests at bay. I have a jalapeno plant up here. We have some Thai pepper plants here that I just direct sowed, and they are growing up nicely. And then I have two habanero plants that are growing in nicely but very slowly.
Cece just checked in. Said, "Hey, twin."
Hi, twin. How are you? Thank you for stopping in. In this bed, we have our onions. So I probably will do a separate video on this, y'all, but I don't know if we're gonna make it to the finish line with our onions. We do have some, and it's like you can come like give them a close up if we can see in here. You do have some that have actually bulbed and are doing really, really well. But there are a lot of them that are not. And I have some theories about things that I could have done differently. And I'll get into that in another video. But I'm growing white onions and red onions. We're doing short day varieties. The yellow onions were sold out, so I don't have those in this particular. Oh, you see, Rich, that's Jerome. So this is Jerome. This is our garden friendly lizard. And he scares me religiously because I never know where he's at, but he's always where I am. So in this bed, we have a ton of pepper plants. The majority of them are jalapeno and sweet carnival blend peppers. So the sweet carnival blend, I got that because I wanted orange and purple peppers, and those will give that. I don't know which plants will give what, but those are doing really well. I have some butterhead lettuce that need to come out. I probably will end up discarding these because these were being attacked terribly by snails. The last ones I pulled out, I had some slugs kind of living inside. So they're kind of at the end of their life, and I'll be getting rid of those pretty soon. These are Scotch bonnet peppers. On this end, we have some big leaf Italian basil, and then we have some more oregano over here. I do have a few new celery plants up in that corner, and I just kind of wanted to make sure I have celery growing through each season. So the celery that I showed you guys at the grow bags, that is what I started last summer. I actually started these this year, and I anticipate that when those are no longer producing, I will still have those. In this bed, we have our garlic, which is doing really, really well. The garlic that I'm growing is in Psyllium Red, and this garlic is absolutely delicious. I had a chance to taste a few of the heads before I planted, well, after I planted them, the ones that were too small to plant. We have some onions that just will not they don't know when to go home. So they are just there. And then, of course, we have another eggplant, and I'm pretty sure this is a nigro eggplant, if I remember correctly. We have some sweet bell peppers in here. This one, I don't know specifically what this is, but I know that on the other side, if you guys can see over there, those are the sweet sunrise. You can see the plants were being attacked by caterpillars of some kind, but I went ahead and sprayed, so I'm hoping that that problem is gone. We have lots of arbol chili pepper plants because I don't know how to trust the process. And then I'm pretty sure these are cayenne pepper plants up front. On this side, we have a ton of peppers as well. I have a few more arbol chili peppers. I have some white bell peppers over here. I'm so excited about these white bell peppers. These are green leaders, so those are green, specific for green peppers. And then over here, there is a mix of both serrano and shishito peppers. I don't know which ones are which because I mixed them up, and I guess we'll see when they actually grow out. I do have some marigolds interplanted. The show them the flamenco marigold. This flamenco marigold is so pretty, y'all. And then of course I interplanted basil and oregano in that bed as well. And then in the new bed, we're still working on this, but it's a work in progress. We have some more tomatoes. So these are all of my remaining indeterminate tomatoes. Now, honestly, I don't know which ones are which of all of them. I'm pretty sure I think these are Brandywine yellow. Some of them are Marglobe, and then the rest are the pink, Chef's Choice pink. So that's what's going all around this side here. I'm going to be doing the Florida weave method on these. Right now, I have them on like the green stakes. I do have some melons planted in this bed. I don't know if these melons are going to do well. There are various varieties. I have honeydew, I have brilliant melons, I have torpedo melons, yellow petite melons, but I think with just them being in the pots too long and then having transplant shops, I don't know if they're really going to do well. So I will be replanting more melons pretty soon. We have all of our gigantea and regular jalapeno plants on this side. Some of them have died, and I will go ahead and reseed those when I get a chance. And then over here, we have some more bell peppers. I believe these are sweet carnival. I have some more scotch bonnet peppers back there. And then I don't know what these are on this side. I tried my best to keep up with the tags. It doesn't always work. And this little, and I'm sorry, y'all, I have like really bad allergies, so my nose is getting the best of me at this moment. I have some more sunflowers down in this little corner here. And then if you can see these few little seedlings, these are my tomatillo plants. So one of them is a poncho, and then one is a tomatillo verde. And then on this side, we have some cucumbers and squash. So all of those down there are the spring burpless cucumbers that are starting to come up. And it looks like something ate some of the flowers off. And then we have two salt and pepper pickling cucumbers. So of all the seeds that I planted for those, I've only gotten two to germinate. Here, these are kabocha squash that are coming up. I have some delicata squash planted there that has not come up yet. And then those two plants down there are spaghetti squash. We have three different corn varieties here. This is peaches and cream, which you guys can tell. I kind of just threw all the seeds in there and was rolling with the luck of the draw. But then I got a little bit wiser and I started to actually carefully plant the corn plants out. So we have here some Golden Cross. It says Bantam, yeah, Golden Cross Bantam. So that's a yellow variety. And then over here we have the Silver Queen hybrid white variety. And then on this side we have some winter squash as well. So I have here a Guatemalan blue winter squash. There should be 3 plants of those coming up. On this side, I have acorn winter squash, and over here I have 3 butternut squash plants that will be coming up as well. And then we have some dill in this corner, as well as our bush bean variety, and these are the Capitano bush beans. I will be planting out my Kentucky whole beans pretty soon. I haven't done it yet. I'm gonna actually take this and put them in grow bags and use this for that. And then we're just gonna get a different trellising medium for this, for the squash and the cucumbers. But that is everything, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed this live tour of the garden. I will probably do live tours twice a year to give a real time update on those changes, particularly in summer and probably in fall when the garden goes through the most drastic changes. But I appreciate you guys for stopping in for the tour. I hope that you guys enjoyed seeing the current state of the garden. And how much it has grown since we started. But I appreciate y'all. I'm going to head out and I will talk to y'all in the comments. Bye.